I'll tell you. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Web servers are used for to handle HTTP and HTTPS requests. Requests which are comes from the client. Okay, and the second advantage is identify the request. And give the response accordingly. Okay, and the third one is error codes or status codes. Okay, acts as a proxy to route the request application server. Okay, so these are all the advantages of web server. Okay, suppose if you use web servers in front of application server, the request first comes to web servers, because web servers can display the web content. Okay, so the request first to comes to web servers, then the web servers can handle HTTP and HTTP requests which are comes from the client. After that, it identify the request. Okay, and it gives the response accordingly. Suppose if it is static page, suppose I have deployed one application like google.com. So Google is one application I have deployed in my application server. I am trying to access that application using browser. So I just click on google.com in the browser. So again immediately it will go to https google.com like this. See here, I am typing google.com, it is going to https. Okay, because that request is handled by web server only, so that request will not go to application server, because that is one dynamic page, so many clients are accessing the same page. Okay, so in that case we cannot disturb application servers frequently. So that's why here we are using web servers. The web servers first identifies the request as dynamic or static, and it will give you the response to the client. Okay, and after that, if the request is wrong, which we have given in the browser, it will throw you error codes like 400 error, sorry, like 404 error. 404 means file not found exceptions. Okay, 404 errors and 500 errors, and page cannot be displayed. Okay, so these type of errors it will display accordingly. Suppose if we don't use web servers in front of application servers, so these three requests are handled by application server only. Okay, so at that time the application server may get problem. The application server cannot handle this type of silly requests. Okay, these requests are very simple requests. We cannot disturb application servers for this. Okay, because already application server is maintaining the application, it's serving the services. We cannot disturb them. So for that we are using web servers in front of application server, and it acts as a proxy to route the request to the application server. Proxy means, suppose if the request is valid request, it forwarded to the application server. If the request is not valid or wrong, it will display the error codes like 404, 500 and page cannot be displayed. That means the web server is stopping the request. Okay, the web server is stopping the request there, and it is handling some of the requests like static pages, like the dynamic, some of the dynamic, all static pages are handled by web servers only, and some of the dynamics pages are handled by web servers, and it stores welcome pages, welcome page or index page, index page, pages of all applications. So that means the first page of every application will be stored in web servers only. It will not go to application server. Suppose this is first web page for Google application. Okay, this page is deployed in web server, not in application server, because this is one dynamic page. So many clients are accessing the same page. After this page, the people will go will split the request, like some people will go with Gmail, some people will go with images. Okay, some people will do select the languages here. Okay, so the next request will go to application server, but the first request is handled by web server only. Okay, so for that purpose, the what we will do is we will deploy the first page of every application, index pages and welcome pages, in web server level, so that web server can handle those pages immediately. It will give the response to the client. That's why we are getting Google page very fast. Okay, suppose if the page also going to application server, it will be late, fraction of seconds. So once we type google.com, it is going to web servers only. Suppose HDFC. Okay, take HDFC net banking or HDFC bank. Okay, so this is one of the web page. So this is the first web page. It is going to the web server only. So because the request is HTTPS. Okay, so like this, the web servers handles all the requests which are comes from the client over the internet. So after that, it will filter the request. It will stop the request, and it will filter the valid request. And if it is dynamic request, it will forward it to the application server. If it is not valid, it will display the error codes, and it acts as a proxy. Okay, it route the request to the application servers. Okay, and it will stores the welcome pages and index pages for fast accessing. Okay, so generally the user uh, I mean the client request the application request flow will be like this. This is the user. He is trying to access the application. The first request comes to web server. Okay, so after that it will come to application server. After that it's going to go to DB. Okay, so here user or client, we can say. So the user or client trying to access one application in the internet. So the request comes to HTTP web servers through HTTP or HTTPS. Okay, so after that the web servers identifies if it is static or dynamic. So if it is static page, the web server itself process the request and it give the response to the client. Suppose if it is dynamic request, some of the dynamics or requests it can handle which are saved like welcome pages and index pages. It will serve and it will give the page to the client. If it is complete dynamic application, if it is complete dynamic pages, I mean further next pages, so it will the request goes to application server. So the application server contains the that war file or er file whatever, and it give the service, it internally execute that application and it give the response to the web server. Again the web server give the response to the client using HTTP protocol again. Okay, this is the flow. Okay, and if we have any login pages or registration pages for that application, nowadays all websites are having registration pages, so we have to register for everything. So now if you take any application access enable, we have to register or login. Okay, so for that the authentication, the login page authentication will be authenticated at DB level. Okay, so for that the application server send the request to the DB, so the DB server responds and it will check the username and password and it give the response to the application server. Then the application server give the response to the web server and it will give the login page after login page to the client. So this is happening in real time. Okay, so for handling the requests which are comes from the client fuse requests in front of application server, we need to install, we need to maintain web server. This is mandatory. This is mandatory. Without web server, there is application server we cannot handle individually. Okay, I think
Yeah.
you understand what is the importance of web servers now.
Yes.
Okay, so here we have different web servers like Apache. Apache is one web server, and IHS means IBM HTTP server. Here HTTP server and web server both are same. So web server having different names. First name is web server and second name is we can call it as HTTP server also, because HTTP it is handling HTTP requests, and the third name is proxy server. So the name, three names are same, so that means web server only. Okay, and OHS, Sun 1, iPlanet. Okay, so these are all the web servers available in the market. Okay, so Apache is the freeware. I mean this is the open source, we can download and use it. And coming to IBM HTTP server, so this is this functionality is same as Apache only, but IBM people renamed Apache server as IBM HTTP server. Okay, so Apache functionality and HTTP functionality is same, there is no difference. Okay, they just renamed as IBM HTTP server, that's it. Okay, and Oracle HTTP server also same, they just renamed HTTP server, that's it. So functionality is same. So inside IBM HTTP server and Oracle HTTP server, Apache is there, Apache only there. Okay, just they renamed like that. And Sun1 iPlanet, they have their own code. Okay, here we are using IBM HTTP server as a web server in our environment. Okay, And one more thing is plugin. Plugin. So plugin means it is the component which is used for to integrate web server and application server, because the web server cannot send the request directly to the application server, because the web server doesn't know the application server is running or not, the application server is available or not. So the web server doesn't know. So for identifying that, here we are using a plugin component. Okay, so plugin is a component which is used for to act as a mediator between web server and application server. Okay, so the plugin maintains the information about web server and application server as well. Okay, once the request comes to the web server, that the if the it identifies the request, if the request is valid, that request forwarded to the plugin file. So then the plugin file identifies the available servers in the list. Okay, suppose in this I have cluster. In cluster I have 10 servers. So the plugin file maintain that cluster information in the file. Okay, so accordingly the file itself identifies the available servers in the list and forward that request and reroute that request to the particular application server. So for that reason here plugin file is using. Okay, so that means here we have the one request is filtering 2 times here, so the request is not going to application servers directly. So that is because application server is sensitive. So the application server is already maintaining the application. We cannot request application servers directly. So that's why here using web servers, some of the requests will filter here. Okay, so here some load balancing will be done. Okay, by identifying the request, by sending the for avoiding the wrong web pages, wrong requests and all. After that, one more filter happening by plugin file. So what they will do is it will stop sending the request to the shutdown application servers. Suppose application server is not running, the plugin file will not send the request to that application server. It will find out available application servers and it will forward, it will route that request to the application server. That is the importance of plugin file. Okay, understood?
Yeah.
Okay, and one more load balancing technique is here we use a load balancer in front of web server. Load balancer. Okay, so the importance of load balancer is it will not route the wrong requests. I mean it will filter the request. Only secure request can able to handle. Only valid requests and secure request will be coming from the client, it can handle. Okay, here the load balancer is, this is hardware load balancer. It is maintaining by network team. So network team will maintain this load balancer. So this is another administration, they will take care of this. Okay, so example of load balancers is big IP is one load balancer, F5 is one load balancer, Akamai. Example. So in real time they will use this type of load balancer to control over the request which are comes from the client. Okay, so this is complete request flow. Okay, so whenever user is accessing any application in internet, either Google, Facebook or bank websites or LICs, any application, suppose you are searching some information also, so that request comes to load balancer first. Okay, in load balancer level, some of the requests it can handle and it will filter the request, it will store the request, it will stop the request here. After that it will find out available web servers. Available web servers means in real time we have multiple web servers also. So those multiple web servers are handled by one load balancer. Okay. After that the request comes to web server. Again the web server filter the requests and it will forward the request to plugin. After that the plugin file identify the available application servers and it will forward that request to the application servers. Then the application server will respond and it will give you the pages. Okay, so this is happening in real time. This is complete real time environment. Okay.
Okay.
So this is happening once we access any application. So end user doesn't know how the Gmail is coming, Facebook is coming in fast, very fast. The request is going to where end user doesn't know. This is the flow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now web server integration with WebSphere application server. Okay. First what we have to do is install IBM HTTP server. Nothing but web server only. We are calling it as IHS. Okay. I install IHS IBM HTTP server or web server. Both are same. Okay. And then install plugins. Okay. And install customized toolbox. Okay, we have to first install IHS and then plugins and customized toolbox. So this customized toolbox is used for to integrate this plugin file and web server. Okay, so this is one component. This is used for to integrate these two, because here in the request the request is coming to plugin file. In that case these two should be in integrate. Okay, then only the request come here. For that, for integrating these two, we are using customized toolbox. Okay, so once we integrated these two, okay, and we have to integrate plugin file and application server also, because there is a connection. It is the mediator between web server and application server. So in that case we have to integrate plugin file with web server as well application server. Okay, that can be done using this customized toolbox. So these things I'm going to show now. Okay, so here unfortunately this IHS software is not compatible to Linux. Okay, Linux in my operating system, because it is asking some supported RPMs to be installed, but I am not aware of that. This IHS integration alone I will show you in Windows. Okay, so but administration is same in Windows and Linux. Okay, in Windows and Linux administration is same, either WebSphere or web server, whatever. Okay, this web server integration itself alone I will show in Windows machine. Okay,
Okay.
let me install IHS. So this is the IHS software. For Linux and Windows, both the operating systems uses the same software. Okay, both the softwares uses same software. There is no difference. Okay, so this is one of the WebSphere component we have to do from installation manager. I think you remember installation manager.
Yeah.
So installation manager is a tool where we you to do all installation and installation of WebSphere products. In the first class we have installed, right, installation manager.
Yeah.
So this IHS installation also we have to do from installation manager only. Okay.
Okay.
So I have installed installation manager. So go to that path, Eclipse. So remember, in Linux and Windows, same path. There is no difference. So but there we have slash opt, IBM, installation manager and Eclipse. Here program files, IBM installation manager and Eclipse. Only program files is different. There OPT we use, here program files. So no difference. The command also same. Launcher. So install. See here it is showing all packages. Okay, all packages list. In this list we have to select IBM HTTP server and plugins and toolbox. These three things, these three components we are going to install now. Okay, and if you observe we have another two components also, pluggable application client and application client. These two are not required. Okay, so I select these three components and click on next. And again click on next. Okay, accept the license agreement. And here specify the path. Specify a unique path for these three components. Okay, select first one and I'm giving like after IBM I'm giving slash IHS. Okay, slash IHS HTTP server. And for the plugin also I'm giving unique path like IBM IHS. Okay, and for this toolbox also I'm giving the same path IHS. Okay, so this is the path. IBM under IBM IHS folder is creating. So under this HTTP server, plugins and toolbox, these three components are going to be installed. Click on next. Now it is installing. Here the port number of web server is by default it is 80. Okay, 80 is the port number, default port number. If you use this default port number for only root users, root users only can use this default port number. If you have normal user, we can use another port number also. Okay, and here login as local system account or login as specified account. Okay, I'm selecting local only. okay, and the HTTP services will run as a Windows services, okay, and startup type is automatic, okay. So the port number is 80 and click on next. This is the summary. Just click on install. It will install now.
Can you share the software?
IHS software, Raju will help you. Sorry, Vasu. Ask Vasu. He will share the software.
Okay.
I think he might have shared already. You can see some VAS supply files, VAS supply or something. 3 files will be there, na? That
Yeah.
3 files are nothing but IHS software only.
Oh, okay.
I just renamed as IHS 8.5 in my mission.
Okay. Again, I want to copy like a disk 2, disk 3 in first one.
Yeah, copy the disk 2 and disk 3 with disk 1, merge with one folder.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to select the that repository dot config file for the 3 disks. So to avoid that, merge 3 files in one folder and rename it as IHS 8.5.
Okay.
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 And product installation is completed. Click on none here because WebSphere customized toolbox we will open manually. Okay, click on next and finish. So now go and verify the web server installation. Okay, go to the local and C drive. In C drive I have installed program files, IBM, IHS. Okay, so already I have WebSphere and IHS now I installed. Go to IHS, HTTP server, plugins and toolboxes. So 3 components has been installed now. And go to the HTTP server. Okay, so here verify the installation is success or not. Go to the logs and post installation. Here open this post installation file. So the file displays the installation is success. Okay, if you observe here, install config success, that means installation is successful. Okay, so verify this file and go and start Apache. That means Apache means HTTP server or web server, whatever. Okay, now start the Apache server, go to bin directory. This is the HTTPD That means the process we can start from this HTTPD. Okay, and we can start from the background also. So go to that installation path. In Linux servers we used to start and stop from the background only. So I will show you that. IBM, sorry, program files, IBM IHS. Go to HTTP server, bin directory. So in Linux also same path, but here you can see OPT, that's it. Okay, and here httpd dot exe. Okay, so run this command httpd dot exe. So it will start Apache server. Okay, if it is Linux, there is a command called Apache CTL. Go to Apache bin directory and Apache CTL hyphen K start. Okay, for stopping Apache CTL hyphen K stop. For stopping and starting Apache from the Linux system. And if
Okay.
you want to see the status of Apache CTL hyphen K status, these three commands. Okay,
Yeah.
Apache CTL command will be there in bin directory. So there, from there we can run. So here http.exe, run this command. So now Apache will be start. Okay, so to verify the Apache is running or not, so open the browser, and for Apache there is a console. Okay, so that console we can access from Google, local. The host name is the local host and the port number is 80. Okay, so just give localhost and 80. So it is redirecting to something else. Let me clear my browser cache. So this is the IBM HTTP server console. That means HTTP server is running. So it will not show 80 port here because that is default one. If you give localhost also, it will redirect to Apache only. Okay, and this is just page. In this we will not do any administration. We will not do any tasks here because web server is handled by deployment manager server. We have DMGR server is there now. So using that DMGR web console, we used to do stop and start Apache server from there, not from here. Okay, so not from here, and we will not use these. This is first time we will use Apache start and stop. Okay, suppose if you have web servers, individual web servers, we can start and stop like this. Once we integrated with application server, this web server, we can do administration from DMGR console itself. Okay, DMGR console, we can start and stop, we can create another web server also, we can do everything from the administrative console once we integrate it. If you are not integrating, we have to use these commands. Okay, now I'm going to integrate plugin with web server first. Okay, after that we will integrate with application server. I'm going to do integration of web server and plugin file. Okay, I'm stopping Apache. Now Apache is stopped, and open the toolbox. Using toolbox we have to integrate. come back, go to toolbox, and here WCT. Okay, so here run the command WCT dot CMD, sorry, exe. Let me check. So this is the command bat. This is the path. IHS toolbox WCT, that means web customized WebSphere customized tool. WCT means here WCT dot bat. So run this command. It will open a graphical window. There we have to integrate plugin file with web server. Okay, already one plugin file is there. In my last class I have integrated. Just remove this one. Okay, so now add the plugin file here. Click on add. Here give the plugin name, which plugin. And here specify the plugin file path where the plugin file is installed. So this path is correct only, and anyway we will browse the right path for avoiding confusion. Go to C drive and program files and IBM IHS plugins. So select the plugin, click on OK and finish. So plugin file is added. Now create. Click on create. Create means creating the configuration file. Okay, so here we have different web servers, IBM HTTP server 8.5 which we installed now, and Apache also. Apache means separate software, Apache. That also we can integrate with this plugin, and Lotus domain and Sun Java, Microsoft Internet, that means IaaS. This is also a web server, and version 6, one version 7. These two are the Microsoft products, IaaS web server. And this is Java, Sun Microsystem, nothing but Sun 1, and Lotus domain, Apache and IBM HTTP. So if you install any web server, we have to integrate this plugin. Okay, so here my web server is IBM HTTP server. Click on next, and here browse the Apache configuration file. This is the main configuration file of Apache. Okay, http.conf file is the main configuration file for web server, nothing but Apache. Okay, so go to that program file IBM OHS HTTP server, and here config and http d open, and the port number is 80, and click on next. Here set up IBM HTTP server administration server. This option is skip this option, it is not required now, and click on next. And the web server name is web server 1 by default. Okay, and click on next, and here we have to browse the WebSphere path, WebSphere installation path. Okay, so we have selected, here we have integrated, see here we have integrated plugin file with Apache. Okay, and in the next steps we are integrating with application server also. Okay, for that locate that application server installation path, go to C drive, IBM WebSphere app. Okay, this is the installation directory of my WebSphere. Locate this, and next here we have to choose the profile, because web server this web server we are integrating with the application server. In that case, we can manage this web server from DMGR console. So for that we have to select the profile in for which profile we are integrating in WebSphere. Okay, so here I'm integrating with app server. Okay, so and click on next, and this file is important, plugin cfg.xml. This file is going to be created. So this file contains the entire information of web server and application server. So using this file only, the request or routing to application servers which are available in the cluster or individual. Okay, and click on configure. Finish off. Okay, and close the window. Okay, now go and verify the plugin is configured with web server or not. So go to the local, and this is the HTTP, I mean web server configuration. Go to this config directory, here http.conf file. So this is the main configuration file. If you delete this file, nothing, the web server will not be start. And if you do any mistakes, if you do any dot or comma, if you type any something, the application, the web server will not start. So this is very important. And if you want to do any integrations, any modifications, any SSLs at web server level, we have to modify this file only. This is the main file. Open this one, come down, come to the last of the file. Here you can see the plugin file is integrated. Just now these two files are added, the lines. See here, program file Apache ISS plugin bin directory 32-bit. This module is added with web server, and the plugin cfg.xml file is added in this. Okay, these two lines are added just now after integration. Okay, so after this we have to check the plugin file also. Go to the plugins, and here there is bin directory. Go to this bin. Here we have configure web server. Configure web server. This is the file. Okay, so we have to move this file from this place. I mean copy this file and place into DMGR bin directory. We are integrating app server now. Plugin file with app server. DMGR bin directory. In Linux we have to use cp command for copying. Cp that file name, and we have to give the destination name. Okay, so now the file is copied here. We have to run this command. If you run this command, the plugin file is will be integrated with application server. Then the web server will be created in the admin console. Okay, so let me open administrative. Let me start DMGR server. The changes is okay, right? Are understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And profiles, path is same everywhere. in Windows and Linux. DMGR bin directory, the command start manager, same command start manager dot bat. In Linux, start manager dot sh.
Yeah.
And also for starting and stopping normal application servers, so there is a node agent, right? So for this web server also node agent is required because we have integrated with app server profile this web server. So if the node agent is running, then we can start and stop from the console, admin console, the web server. If the node agent is stopped, we cannot start the web server like application. Same the functionality of application server.
Okay.
It is taking a lot of time. Okay, server is up. Now access the administrative console. go to the servers, server type, web servers. I have already integrated in the last class. The second time I am going to be integrate. So delete this one. This is integrated in the last class. For the first time integration, you cannot see any web servers here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm deleting
So,
this.
so we call it federation or integration? What is the
It's
term?
integration. It's integration. Federation is that is we do for app servers.
For WebSPS, we call it integration. For app servers, federation.
Yes, yes, correct. I'm synchronizing at a time, saving the configuration and synchronizing the nodes, DMGR cell and app node. Now no web servers will be there. So now we have to run this command which we copied from here, configure web server. This command we have to run from the DMGR bin directory for integration. Configure web server 1.bat. See the web server definition for web server 1 on app server node 1. Actually the web servers are we used to integrate for custom profiles, because custom profile is empty profile we will install over there. I don't have custom profile in my environment. I'm adding to application server profile. Any profile we can add, either application server or custom.
In the real-time environment, it will be in the custom profiles always.
It's not like that. It depends. Custom means we can customize anything. In custom profile also node agent will be there once we federated to DMGR. So we can create custom on applications or anywhere we can create.
Anyway, but in general, it can be in anywhere also in live
Anywhere also.
uh,
Live. Sometimes they will do in application server. Sometimes they will do custom profile. In console we can select the profile. Suppose if I want to create web server 2, at the time I have to choose the profile in the list. Okay, app server or custom profile or app server profile we have to choose at the time of second server creation. It's like app server creation only. So now integrated is done. Refresh the browser. Here it is not showing. Try to restart the environment. I think synchronization not happened. So let's try to restart. No. Try to start the Apache. Start the Apache. IHS. Bin directory. This is the Apache. Restart DMGR server once. Stop manager. So the web server is added, IBM HTTP server, and the node is app node. Okay, so it will run depends on the node agent. If the node agent is stops, the web server also will goes down. Okay, and now we will try to do one application. What is the time now? So can you continue tomorrow, or we can do? I mean, we have 10 minutes. We need 10 minutes to complete this topic. We will deploy one application, and we will try to access, and we'll check the request, how the request is uh, routing to web server to application server. Can we continue, or can we continue tomorrow?
We can continue now.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to deploy an application. I have already one application, benefits.where. So start this application. Before going to start the application server. Start the node agent first. Start node.
So for a cluster also we have start and stop, right? We have to start the cluster, stop the cluster.
Yes, yes.
So the
Cluster
cluster has to
stopping,
be,
we have to stop the servers like cluster members. We have to start the from console.
so we
Or
have cluster
another
start,
way is
stop.
yeah, there is a ripple start and cluster start options will be there. So if you if you click on cluster start, the all cluster members will be start initiation at a time. Parallelly, all the members will start. If you go with the ripple start, so the servers will start one by one. But node agent should be up and running for that node.
For the cluster to be active or the servers to be active, node agent should be started first.
Yes. Yeah. Node agent should be there, up and running. Then we can start the either cluster or we can start individual members. We can start individual members also
Okay, okay.
from the console itself. I'm starting one application server because I have integrated web server to this application server. It should be up and running. Server is started. Now go to that application, map that application with web server and application server as well. Go to that application and click on manage module. Okay, now map the web server, this application to server 1 and web server and apply. Click on OK. If you install new application, at the time of installation deployment, it will show the targets at the same like this. So at the time we have to choose the targets like this. So I have already installed one application. I'm showing that. I'm mapping that. Review, do the synchronization at a time. నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను ఒక 10 minutes అవి చేసాక బాయ్. So now try to access the application. So for accessing the application, we should know the port number of that application and the context root. So port number is 80 because we are trying to access from the web server, and the context root is slash. So the context root we can check here. Go to that application. Here is the context root. So the slash is the context root. So now try to access that application from the local host, and the port number is 80. I am accessing from web server, not from the application server. Earlier we did from the application server slash.
So for the context
So
root,
it saved my browser cache. Let me create the clear the browser cache.
so for the context root, it can be changed every time, or it has to be, we have to define one context root for each application.
Each and every application maintain a separate context root. So that is mentioned in the web.xml file. So this context root is decided by the application team. They will give us the context root name because they are the application owners. We don't know what is the application name they are using. So along with this file, the war file or ER file, they will give you the context root also.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
So
now
we'll have
try
all
to
the, okay.
yeah, 80 slash. So this is the application. Okay. So actually that application request is going to web server, and this is the first page the web server is displaying. After that, if you do any changes, the remaining pages are deployed in application server. Okay, so we can do something in this. This is the sample application that we are doing. If you do anything after next pages and all, it will go to the application server. Okay, so now we will check the integration is success or not in the config.xml file. And one more thing, one more option is there in web server level. Go to web server, server type. Here we have two options: generate plugin, propagate plugin. Okay, so here generate plugin means whenever you do any changes at web server level. So now I have deployed one application in web server level. So that changes will be updated in the master configuration first. Okay, for that we have to create the click on generate plugin button here. So if you click on this button, the changes will be updated first master configuration. After that, plugin file. Plugin file is the mediator between web server and application server. After that, it will update in cfg.xml file. After that, it will update it to local. That means app node level. Okay. So if you click on generate plugin, it will save in master configuration and plugin cfg.xml file. If you click on propagate plugin, it will move to application server level, local configuration. Select this web server and we can do generate plugin. If you make any changes, if the changes is not reflecting, we have to do like this. So now in my case, the changes is reflecting, I am able to access the application. If it is not done, we can do like this, propagate plugin. So generate plugin is done and propagate plugin is done. You can see already synchronized, it is saying when I do propagate plugin. because I did synchronization at the time of deployment. Mapping to the web server, I did synchronization. So it is synchronized. If it is not synchronized with local, we have to propagate plugin here. Okay.
So
And we can,
even in live environments, we should be doing this one.
yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
We can create a number of web servers here. Web server 2 I am creating under app node. Like this we can create multiple web servers. As I told you, from the load balancer it will come to web server. We can create number of web servers in this. Okay, the load balancer identifies the available web server and it will forward that request to the web server. Port number 80, I can give a separate port number like 90 or something. Any number you can give. Finish. If you want to access the same application with the web server too, we have to do virtual host modification. In virtual host 80 port is already there. We have to add this server port number also there, and we have to map the application for this web server, then we can access. That you can try while you are practicing. Okay, so it will be create, and to verify the web server and application server both are integrated with plugin file or not. So go to the background and go to the plugin file, configuration, web server. So here plugin -cfg.xml file. Okay, this is the main file. If you remove this file, the integration will be removed. Okay, there is no communication between web server and application server. Okay, so this is the main file. If you open this file, edit with the notepad, come down. Here you can see the application server information and as well web server information. See here, this is server 1 port number and this is secure port number, right? These two are the application servers, and if you come down, it is mapped with host server 1 app node. Okay, and if you come down, where is it? And these are all the virtual hosts. See the port number. So 80 port number is there. Okay, so it is saving web server information. These are all the web servers information, virtual hosts, and this is cluster information for the application server. So that means it is the file is maintaining both the configuration files, both the configuration information of web server and application server also. Okay, this is the main important file. Start it.
So I have a small question. So when
Yeah,
we are creating multiple servers, don't we define the space, how much space each server will be allocated?
multiple servers. Yeah,
So
it
when
will
we
take
create multiple
space
servers,
from your hard disk.
it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
So
See,
it will be
one
evenly
server,
distributed. It randomly.
I did not get you. You mean physical server memory?
No.
Hmm.
Physical server, let's say we in hardware we buy a physical server and they store
Hmm.
they rack it up, right, in the racks.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when we are defining application servers and web servers on each of those physical servers,
Hmm.
how was the space allocated between web servers, application servers? Do we define them or
We need not to define. It will take the space, but it will take less space only. See here, the entire IHS is taking uh, 819 MB. It's not even 1 GB. Okay. Suppose take WebSphere installation. In real time also systems will
especially
be available for
in real, yeah, please.
minimum space will be there.
So not for this one. I'm mainly concerned about the applications. When the developers create new applications and when we deploy the new applications into the servers,
Hmm.
and when we have to add more servers to the physical box, so
Okay, I got it.
usually at
Actually,
least doesn't care about
you mean application size. So generally the application size is 1 MB to 200 MB.
right.
So it's not more than. I have deployed in my career 6 MB files, 1 MB files, and 200 MB files also I have deployed.
Okay,
Okay,
let's say
that space will be taken it took from the hard disk only.
hard disk only. Okay,
Okay,
so if the hard disk
yeah,
space
hard
is
disk.
running out, then they'll add more storage to the.
They will add more space.
Oh,
They'll add more space, but generally applications never take GBs kind of thing. It should be in 1 GB space. We can deploy number of applications we can deploy. Suppose maybe if you take Facebook application, maybe 100 MB something like that memory, the entire application.
oh,
Okay,
that's it.
and storing the information like uploading the videos and all, they will maintain another server for space. For
Okay,
application, we need just MBs memory is fine.
fine. Okay, okay. Just like JDBC. On the database, we'll maintain the
Yeah.
space where we store the data, but
Yes.
for the applications,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
oh,
In database servers, they'll maintain some table space now. The
right.
same way here also. It's the hard disk. It takes hard disk space only.
But as an administrator, we don't allocate any space for these servers,
No.
virtual
If you
servers.
want more space, you can write an email to tickets to Unix team. They will add one more disk,
Oh, that's it.
or they will add one more partition or something like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So this is web server integration with WebSphere. So tomorrow we will come with another topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.